My name is Bruce Headlam. I'm the media editor of the New York Times. I wouldn't say this is my most embarrassing story. I'm sure I've embarrassed myself in other ways, but it is the one thing I've done in journalism that continues to bother me to this day. I went to East Berlin in '93 to do a story about Attila Lukacs, who was a big deal artist at that time. He was a painter. In fact, that is the front spread from that issue, actually. And he was a gay skinhead, and I followed him around for 4 or 5 days. Although he kept looking at me with this kind of "are you still there" look on his face. But in the last night, we went to East Berlin, and we went to all these gay clubs. And, he was off, snorting cocaine and doing all kinds of things, and I was standing there like clearly the only straight guy in this entire club. But I got really, really drunk. I was writing down everything that happened. I was writing down my conversation with him, but I've never really been, hammered while I'm trying to interview somebody before. He had a painting which I really, really loved called "Don't Leave Me This Way." He did this whole series about military cadets, sort of gay iconography and stuff. And I woke up in the morning and my notebook was just like, you can imagine what a notebook would look like, because I was really, really drunk. But I had circled that 2 songs had played at this gay club, YMCA and "Don't Leave Me This Way." I can't remember who originally performed it, "Don't Leave Me This Way." It was a really fantastic disco song. And I thought, well, did I hear those songs? And I built this whole thing around how I was making this whole elaborate argument about camp and, sort of problems with gay sensibility and how you close the distance, the irony and all this stuff. And I thought, well, it must have. And I swear to this day that those songs played, but I felt very nervous, so I put those 2 songs in the final scene. We were at the club, and then I was sitting with them on a car, God knows where, in East Berlin afterwards. But after it got published, I started to think, I wonder if I really heard those songs, and it drove me crazy. And then he came to the office about 6 months later. I had never actually met someone after I had profiled them. And everybody came out because I wanted to meet this guy, because he's an incredibly interesting guy, and we'd run this massive 8,000-word story about him. And he got off the elevator, and he was standing there, and in front of everybody, the first thing he said, he looked at me and said, "They never play those songs at that club." I knew exactly what he's talking about. And then he kissed me on the lips. But I have always felt terrible that I put that in. Now, I realize that's incredibly minor. Like, who cares? They played other songs. Clearly not from the 70s, though. But for some reason, any time somebody gets something wrong at the New York Times, or makes something up, which occasionally has happened, or something else, I think of not knowing about those songs and putting them in anyway, and I always feel terrible. And I feel I've unburdened myself after 18 years.